Thank you, Shopify, for sponsoring this video.
So a few months ago, I ruffled the feathers of Paul Sr. from Orange County Choppers, and that led him to sending out a challenge, a bike build-off, sort of. We had a few simple rules. One is we were gonna start with a production bike, and it had to cost less than $3,000. We could add another $12,000 into the build, and we only had 5 weeks to do it. Me being the rule breaker I am, I only stuck to one of those rules, and that was buying a bike for less than $3,000.
Greg, I thought you said it cost $3,500.
Dang it. Like I said, being the rule breaker that I am, I guess I didn't follow any of the rules. But that's okay, because it's all for fun, and at the end of the day, these bikes are getting auctioned off for charity. Now, they always say the last 10% of the build takes the longest, and we're about to find that out now. Come along as we run into some troubles. Some are self-inflicted because I'm not always the smartest guy on the shelf, and others aren't our fault. But we're gonna figure it out, we're gonna get this bike done, and hopefully we get to ride it. But it's winter in Pennsylvania, and we never know what's gonna happen with the weather. Let's get to work. All right. 180, 55, 18. That's looking way better. All right, let's try this again, Dan. Tire. Here, get this thing out of the way. Stupid tire. I threw it much more gently that time. Okay, so that's my pulley side rotation, burnout, smoke. This. I want my drop center good and slippy as well. So that way, when you're doing a big tire like this, you can get it down into that drop. That's how they're supposed to go. Okay, one last rotation check. Tires are easier when the camera's off, Dan. That I will say.
Oh, well then the camera's off. I'm just pointing this at you for rehearsal purposes. There it is.
Yeah, one more. There it goes. Awesome sauce. Oof. Yeah, got a little.
But if you just take that sticker off, it'll be perfect.
Right, actually for fun. It did move it. Did you see that?
Kind of, yes.
It went from like, I don't know, right down in here to up here. So that shows you kind of how accurate this stuff is. Speaking of pulleys and brakes and whatnot, let's get that stuff on while we're here. Okay, so we're gonna need that. I wonder how close I can get to 30 foot-pounds.
This is like a mechanical game of the price is right.
Right.
The torque is right.
All right, so I was at 24 there. That one I knew was loose. That was at 18. 26. Oh, that one there was about spot on.
Wow.
And that one there I was at 28. Ugh. Pulley. Second verse, same as the first. Okay, let's put the table up. I want to get that brake clean a little, and I got new brake pads to put on there, and then we're going to throw the rear wheel on. Yeah, okay, we got a plan. I'm like paranoid of swinging the ratchet or a wrench into some paint, which is a good thing. You want to be paranoid of that. Hey, Foz girl, it's okay. UPS man brings us motorcycle parts.
Oh yeah, Greg has a dog now.
Always want your brake pins good and clean because your brake pads, you know, it's what your brake pads ride on. So when the brake pads are sitting in the brake caliper, this pin goes through them. You know, they're sitting here and the piston's against the one, and they need to be able to slide here a little bit on these pins. So you always want to make sure your brake pins, your brake pad pins are good and clean. I got stuck in a blizzard on the PA Turnpike coming home from Ohio. I washed and hosed everything off as soon as I got home. It was like 11 o'clock at night, but I still got a little corrosion left over from that incident. I'm gonna try a trick to try to get some of that white off of things. So some of that is wax and some of it's some salt residue. Okay, so I have no pads in. I'm gonna make sure we have all the residue off. How that was kind of running out of there. That would run down onto the pads, ruin the pads real quick. So if you do something like this, you gotta make sure you got it all cleaned off. Okay, we'll snug those up. And we'll give them final tightening once they're on everything's up. This is the fun part, like the final assembly. Hopefully, everything goes according to plan here today.
Hopefully.
A little grease. I don't want too much, just a little bit. Okay, let's put on the rear wheel. It's gonna fit. Nice. So the brake is always the worst. Like, I can't scratch a thing here.
I guess you could say that brake is clamping down on forward progress. It's really padding out our time in the shop.
All right, I got a crazy idea. I'm gonna do something a little different here. Crazy idea.
You mean more crazy than accepting to do a biker build off with Paul Sr.?
Yeah, more crazy than that even. The machining is so tight on this center bushing that it's proving to be a little challenging to get the axle through. I got it through on the bench by hand, so I know it fits. That's not the answer. I know it goes on. I just had it on. Something. Once it's lined up once or twice, it should be fine. So what happens is the bearings are pressed in from either side, and it sandwiches a tube that rides in the center from this side to that side of the bearing, spans across that, and your axle goes through that. And I think it's just a little cockamamie, and I'm not able to get the axle all the way through. So I took the wheel back off, I put it over on the bench, got the axle down in and kind of like centered it around a little bit. I'm not sure, it's like I don't know why. I would have thought when I brought it back over, it would have stayed lined up, that the axle would have just slid right through. But that's proving to not be the case.
Is this the part that we blame on Porsche engineers?
We certainly can. We can blame it on whoever we'd like to, Dan. I'm not liking any of this, if I'm being honest. It's really tight at this brake caliper, and I don't know why. I didn't see any burrs on the axle.
Craig, you can't just solve all your problems with sandpaper.
Watch me. Okay, so we got an issue somewhere here. We got to pull this back apart.
There went that excitement of putting it on for the last time.
Every time I do this, it's just another time it can get scratched. All right, what is going on here? I don't know, I guess we'll try it again.
Plaza's coming out.
There you go.
I think that means that this is the one. It's a sign of good luck.
See, why is it tight? So I'm thinking the shoulder on the axle we ran out of shoulder. Yeah, see. This is really an interesting puzzle here, my friend. So we're just gonna take things apart and put them together until it works. This is fun. No, it's still too tight. What in hammers is going on here? Possible I got the wrong spacer on the wrong side? I don't think so. This is borderline fascinating, Dan. Yeah, it's all in that brake. We're getting there, Dan. Okay, So this comes back off. I think we need to get some measurements. It's 10 1/4 inches. Use my calculator. 14 minus 5 1/2 is 8 1/2. So I'm using the wrong spacer. This one's supposed to go here, right? So now in theory, this should measure 8 1/2 inches. Okay, well, it measures 8 1/2 inches.
That's good, right?
That's good. Let's take another measurement. Okay, so that's our problem.
What?
That's 11.5. This one's 1/4 inch bigger. Yeah, that's my problem. Shucks, that's not gonna work. Our brake rotor is 1/4 inch too big.
Would we be able to order a new brake rotor?
Yeah, let's make a phone call.
All right, you taking the wheel off one more time?
Taking the wheel off again, Dan.
My, oh my.
Didn't see that coming, did you? So here's the deal. None of this is working because this bike and this rear brake setup is for a 11.5 inch rear rotor. We don't have a 3.5 inch or 11.5 inch rotor. This is 11.8 inch, so it's hitting the brake caliper. It doesn't work. You need to send it back. They need to pull this off, do whatever they're doing, make it fit. Okay. So this is a snap ring right here. So that comes off, and then they're gonna put a new outer ring on here for us. Hopefully super quick.
Where's it getting sent to do that?
Georgia.
Oh, well, you know, then it will certainly happen super duper quick.
Now, I couldn't show you in the last video because they weren't in yet. So they're here now, and I'm really excited to see this.
Oh boy.
Originally, I talked about these brakes and how awful they are, and I had a plan for them. And then I ended up just putting on these stock front calipers. That's because these weren't here yet.
Hi.
Hi, HHI. These are 6-piston radial mount calipers. So these will stop us on a dime.
Gotta be able to stop on dimes.
While we're waiting on that, let's do this, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't run into any more issues.
Greg. No, I hope so too.
Yeah, right. Bam. Oh my word, that's gonna look awesome. The nice thing with this kit is they do come with some spacers. So if you have to space the caliper off the bracket a little bit, you can. Dude, how good do those look?
Dude?
Yeah, how good does that look? So look at this side, and then go look at the other side.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, Craig, it's hideous. Oh, swap it out now.
A lot better, right? Second verse, same as the first. I'm just gonna snug everything up. I'll make sure this wheel spins the way it should. Don't take any body shop lessons from me, all right? Not sure I like the way that one turned out as much as the other one, but those will dry for a second while we're shaking paint. Multitasking.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yep.
Starting to smell amazing in here, Craig.
I love it. Smell of progress. Where were we, Dan? Well, that stuff's drying. Let's see if we can fish some turn signal wires. So I have this set up, and I'm thinking this might work. I I used a heat shrink solder stick, and I put it on one end of the wires to the welding rod, and then I used that to pull the wires through. Worked pretty well. I don't have to get too crazy on my wiring job there, Dan.
What are you talking about, Craig? You did a great job.
So this says these are what the turn signals are going to get hooked into. I can mount that right there. Plug the signals in, signals mount here. Put that there.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. How do you propose we do that?
Super glue.
This tape's pretty thin. Oh, this stuff is the worst to peel. Oh my word, this is awful. Wasn't hard at all, Dan.
That didn't look hard at all.
Okay, we'll smush those together. And then I think one more should do it.
It's a lot of layers of tape.
I know, but I couldn't put it the other way. That would mess with me. Like I couldn't stick this side to the, you know what I mean?
Not sure why it matters too much. It's gonna be covered.
I know, I'll know. Could be a whole episode about peeling the stickies off of stickers.
Oh yeah. Leave a comment if you just want to watch live stream Craig peeling stickies off of double-sided tape. 4-hour live stream.
Still in the same piece. That was the most enjoyable thing I've done all day.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe me either. That was awful. Good news is that tape.
All that so that you wouldn't have the open side facing out underneath of the front fender panel.
Shut it.
If this doesn't expose what kind of a perfectionist Craig is, why nothing gets done.
Hi. Well, we got those wires ran. Cool. I'm going to use this red. Do you know what a smart guy would do today, Dan?
Tell me what a smart guy would do.
He would call and make sure that everything's honky-dory with that rear brake rotor.
Are you gonna be smart today?
I'm not sure. I thought about it now. I don't know if I'll think about it again.
Those are very pretty braids, Craig.
You like that? All right, so the reason I did that is because then it'll help hold everything together. Turn signals are wired. Everything else is wired. Nice. Here, let's see what happens if I cut this. If I slice this.
You talking about that USB thing?
Yeah. Let's see if that will peel it apart.
I have no clue what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to get the USB wire to here.
Oh. Wow.
Nice.
Look at that.
Don't ever doubt me, Dan. All this just so some guy could listen to Nickelback while he's riding his motorcycle.
All this so some guy can make everyone else listen to Nickelback while he's riding his motorcycle.
Right. Don't be that guy.
Look at this graph!
All right. It's not perfect, but it'll work. All right. And then turn signals we'll just plug in right there. It's all done, that's all done. We gotta wait for the paint to dry to do that. And then our side pieces go on, our side pieces go on, our front goes on, our front fender goes on. So far, so good. Cool, things are looking Millhouse, my friend. Let's see what these things look like on there. I hate saran wrap. It's like I'm never gonna there. Gonna leave that snug but loose. Okay, things are looking good. How's this gonna go? Like that? That looks right.
What's that for?
That's an air deflector. I don't know, hopefully it's to help it make it look cool, Dan. Now, you need those brackets to be dry.
Greg, are the brackets dry yet?
I think so.
Are they finally dry? We've waited ages.
Oh yeah, they're dry. All right, so that's gonna go there. Now, let's see if we can figure out how the rest of this thing goes together. Wish there was a magic trick to make this easier.
How easy?
Easy like Sunday morning.
Huh?
As easy as using Shopify as your commerce platform.
Oh, that is easy.
Sure is easy. I have Shopify synced between my desktop, my tablet, my phone, so I have access to our store no matter where I'm at. And it's not just online. With Shopify's tap and ship reader, we can take our store on the road. And believe it or not, Shopify's point of sale app was really easy to set up. It didn't take a magician. And with over 8,000 apps in the Shopify App Store, getting our store linked to QuickBooks and a shipping provider and all of our social media platforms was super simple. Wasn't rocket magicianry.
Wait, then why am I in this costume?
Oh, that was to remind me to tell them about Shopify Magic. That's the suite of AI tools that will help you write a better product description, will enhance product images, and email effectiveness. If you're looking to kick butt in 2025 and take your commerce business to the next level, go check out Shopify. It really helps the channel. And if it's right for you, use the magic link in the description below. Come on, the great Dandino, we got work to do.
Oh my word.
Now we gotta make sure when we put this on, it don't fall off.
Yeah, you don't want you gotta cinch it down real tight.
Yeah,
We don't want it to fall off.
that is true. We don't want the front to fall off.
Well, wasn't this built so the front wouldn't fall off?
Well, obviously not.
What is our order of operations here?
A fix front,
A fixed front,
screw in front tightly
so it don't fall off.
so it don't fall.
So the windscreen pushes down in, so that means this piece needs to get put on there. There's a super stellar chance that I'm not doing this right, but I guess we'll figure it out. I know the windshield goes in between here. I originally got I think a 6-inch windshield, and I didn't like it. I thought it was too short. I held it up there and it just didn't look right. So I got a taller one. I think I went with a 9-inch.
All coming together?
It's all coming together. And then what we're gonna do is get some black hardware, and then that'll go on. I guess I should figure out turn signals. Yeah, just like that. So easy. Oh yeah.
Thing of beauty, Craig.
Thing of beauty, Dan. I love it.
Now you just plug them, tuck them, call it a day.
That's right. Awesome. Just
Craig,
like that.
it's starting to look like a bike.
Starting to, isn't it?
Just, needs another wheel.
That right now is still out of our control. All right.
All right. Ooh. Soak it in, Craig. You've added a fairing to a VROD.
That's right. We sure did. Take that, you haters.
Craig,
Dan.
that's a nice looking fender. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, dog. Ooh, man, I'm excited. Let's see what this looks like on the bike. I don't remember which is front and which is back.
Craig, this is your bike build. You can put it whichever way you want.
Yeah. I'll try to put it the right way.
The right way is the way that you put it on.
Oh, geez, careful.
Craig, you know what this bike is missing though?
Rear wheel?
Well, besides the rear, we haven't gotten there yet.
What?
This bike is missing some smack talk toward the other competitors.
You know what? I did not do a good job smack talking throughout this process. Really, the only one I could smack talk would be Senior because, I know Sean's not even a challenge. Sean gonna have a bike.
They might have just put the fire out just now.
Just now.
Yeah.
Do we set the other piece on?
What other piece?
The top piece?
The top? Oh.
I feel like you gotta see what that looks like. I'm excited. Dude.
Look at that.
How awesome does that look? Man, I'm glad we went with the higher windshield. That made a big difference.
Things just oozing style all of a sudden.
Yeah, man, how rad. How rad. Yep, so those get clipped in like that. Man. Not bad. Can go there.
Ooh.
And this one's gonna go there, like that. Man, how awesome does that look? I don't know. I don't know if you guys like it or not. I like it. I'm super happy. I am super happy. The only thing we have left to do yet is windshield trim. What else did I say?
The wheel?
Oh, yeah, I need to tuck the wires in a little bit on the other side for this cover. I need to put a screw in there, a screw in there, and change these screws out to black. I need bolts for the other cover. That's what we're missing.
It's a pretty big piece.
Anyway, I like it. Look at this. So our smaller brake rotor came in. This is the 11.5 inch. Before we had the 11.8 inch. That was too big, so nothing was lining up and working correctly. So what I did, I sent it back. They popped it apart and they put the correct rotor on the rotor hub, rotor mount. New hardware, rotor bolts, sprocket bolts, pulley bolts are always one-time use only. I know some guys will say you can get away with reusing them. I don't do that. So, oh, forgot my brake rotor. Oh, now I'm gonna smell like Loctite the rest of the day. Put that on, put that there. Jam some bolts in here. Look how that's bent, twisted. I was really reefing on something. See how it's like.
Now it just looks fast even when it's not spinning.
Yeah, dude. That almost slipped out of my hands. And I believe we torqued those, but we're just gonna double check and make sure.
Craig, how many times have you put this brake rotor on?
A couple.
How many more times are you gonna put it on?
None. This is it.
That's right.
Let's see what we can do here. Got to figure out these spacers, Dan. All right, well, we're gonna have to start doing some measuring, I guess. I have the pulley from the other wheel. I just took it over to the other shop. That spacer in there really causes some heartburn.
Good news is this is the last bike that we're gonna be working on at this shop.
Yeah, I did have this crazy idea. Like we just set up a tiny little studio here in the corner. So like if we want to do like a more intimate kind of set or build, you know, we can.
That's where you record your morning show, like Good Morning Moto Mechanics with Craig.
Yeah, I like that idea. Trying to get some belt tension set up here.
I need an additional cameraman to stand on the other side of this bike.
Yeah, you're gonna have your work cut out for you here for a little bit.
Stop running away from me.
Tough. What happened there? It's like our... Oh, wait. Okay, so... We have a couple issues here.
What's going on?
Well, it's like the first issue is the belt's rubbing on the fuel tank. Maybe if I spin, the belt will start centering itself. So then the next problem is, once that's in, we're gonna hit those bolts. It's like I need shorter bolts at both spots. I need a shorter headed bolt here, and then a shorter shanked bolt here. Okay. I get it, that's better.
Is it not touching now?
It's not. Barely. Yeah, now it's touching again. Dan, I'm not 100% sure how to remedy this at the moment. Still don't know why that axle's so darn tight in there either. Maybe it just self-clearances the tank.
Yeah. It'll just burn enough off that it won't be a problem anymore. Oh, Craig, no, this is perfect. It's a constant burnout against the tank.
That leads to flames.
Think of how smoky it'll be. I don't know, Craig. I think we keep going. Looks like a happy accident to me.
What is that?
What's what?
Ow! Ow! Ooh! Ooh! That caught the meat of the heat of the meat right in there. Whee! Keep them out of there.
Go get a Band-Aid.
It's not bleeding yet.
Go get your dog to lick it.
Yeah, actually, don't they say like dog licks are good for wounds?
Yeah. No, I think it just feels good to have a dog lick it.
Nobody ever said that?
I just know where my dog's tongue has been.
In your other dog's butt. I think we need a total overhaul. I'm really confused why that belt keeps walking itself in. Dan, I'm really cafahoodled. Oh, okay, now I'm bleeding. How do we space the that cush drive out? So the axle can't get any further this way. And by drawing this tight against here, and then that spacer in there, what I'm seeing is we're just on the fuel tank. Way too much. But we can't space that out. I'm losing my ha-ha over this thing, Dan.
I found my second camera operator, though.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's just the tripod.
They already have a spacer in there. The problem is it's not lining up with anything. So this is the one that comes in with the factory. I wonder if we can get lucky here. I don't know. What if we stick that there? No, that's going to give me a hair more spacing. Something. It does not like something on this axle. I mean, holy mackerel. That's too tight of a fit. It doesn't need to be that tight. Let's see if we can get that to go in a lot easier before we get this thing back onto the bike. What is going on here? I don't feel any burrs. Jeez. Thought I had a little dry lubricant, but we'll use this. Where I knocked myself out. Poof! That's neat. That's fun. That's cool. Finally. Getting shushlick, Dan. I'm getting upset. Getting upset and getting shushlick.
Go get there, Craig.
I don't know if we will, Dan.
You'll get there, Craig. Everyone's rooting for you.
I'm starting to feel like a nincompoop.
Easy, Craig. You got it in once. You can finesse it again. That's some good finessing.
This is awful. Should not need a hammer to be installing this. Just saying. Like you saw me just put the axle through, right?
I did.
Once I get those spacers in the center all lined up, then the axle goes fine. See, why is it tight again? Shouldn't be tight. It's tight because this here doesn't want to stay in there. And then it gets tight on that. I've never fought a rear Harley wheel as much as this thing is fighting us. This is ridiculous. There, everything is hunky-dory. See, why is it tight again? It shouldn't be tight on anything. What the heck's it tight on? Still gonna have to address those shock bolts because, well, here, we're gonna hit here. I don't know what else to do about it. I'm not super happy with that brake lineup either. I can live with that though. Well, spacing that out a little helped. Okay, so here's where we're at. I've been working at this wheel so long, I'm tired. I need to get spacers figured out here. So I have the wheel centered, I have the rotor centered in the caliper, and the belt not hitting the fuel tank or the frame. And this is turning out to be a little more complicated than what I was hoping. I thought, well, you know, I order the wheels for the bike and all the spacers are gonna work and it's gonna be honky-dory, throw this thing on, go hit the road a little bit before the snow comes later tonight. And I don't think that's gonna happen. So I need to get that other rear wheel put together with the cush drive that I just took over to the other shop this morning. So I need to get that. I need to get some measurements off that. I need to get some measurements off here. I need to establish the center line of the bike. I need to establish the center line of my tire. I also need to pull this cush drive apart because there's a spacer in there and I have a little bit of wiggle room there. But I need to get measurements because if this gap here on this cush drive is too far, I'm just gonna rip the cush drive apart. So yeah, all that said, this is kind of like our last thing. But man, doesn't this bike, oh man, that looks so good with the wheels. Okay, so it's confession time. All of that heartache and frustration that I was having getting things lined up here with the belt and it rubbing the tank and the frame, it was my fault. Figured out last night at about 11 o'clock, I had the pulley on backwards.
Oh, cool. Wait,
yeah.
What?
I had the pulley flipped. You know, I was in a hurry. I just missed it. So once we figured that out, things are lining up a whole lot better. I'm excited again. Let's get the rest of the pieces on this bike and see it all together for the very first time. I'm excited. Well, there you have it, guys. This is our VROD for the biker build-off against Paul Sr. and Sean at Bikes and Beards. I'm super happy with the way it turned out. I was hoping I was gonna get it off the table and go for a ride, but Dan, come here, check this out.
Oh yeah, I've never seen this before. I completely missed this when I drove in today.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to a winter day in Pennsylvania. It was 50 degrees and sunny yesterday. Today we got this, and it is nothing but ice. Oh, here.
Plow coming to push the slush.
Look at that, he's making snow cones. But we're gonna fire it up for the first time since Ohio, and first time it's all together. I'm excited. I'm also secretly hoping the battery's not dead. That sounds so good. Gotta let it. Turn signals work. Man, this bike sounds so good. Well, there you have it, guys. This is our bike for the biker build-off against Paul Sr. and Sean from Bikes and Beards. I think it looks awesome. I'm super happy with the way it turned out. Don't forget, we went out to Fitzgerald Motorsports in Ohio, put cams in this bike and a tuner and all his exhaust. We're getting like 134 horsepower out of this thing. I can't wait to ride it. I'm pumped. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great weekend.